Good evening. This is NTA News Top Table, where we give you all the angles on events as they unfold. We trail the Nigerian story, tracking new trends and giving you new perspectives and insight on issues that affect citizens and residents in their daily lives. Tonight, alleged terrorist funding. Senate invites heads of security agencies. Roads to progress. Federal government on the miles that will lead to smiles.
What we are doing is to isolate the locations that the roads were constructed within the floodplain and raise up the road pavement and use concrete to do it.
Jam questions. Candidates lament strain before examination. Mobile phones or mobile disturbances. Correspondent on public use of devices.
Why you not say you not go sell my market? Why you say make I send goods? Make I send money first. Okay, send me my market, chap chap. My customer they wait.
The conversation here is not about banning mobile phones in public places, but about using them responsibly.
Also tonight, Benny Adams will give us insight into the limitless sector of digital trade and how Nigeria, especially young Nigerians, intend to cash in. Plus, Badia Adeleye is on the last call trail, monitoring who is in and who goes home in the latest installment of the UEFA Champions League. Just stick around on this shift. As we usually say, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. I'm Yan Ray John. This is News Extra. Welcome. Let's hit the road now. No Nigerian child will be out of school despite his or her social status. This is the commitment of President Tinubu-led administration. Vice President Kashim Shettima gave the assurance during the presentation of digital learning devices to students of Government Science Secondary School, Piakasa, Abuja, by NTA Nigeria. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jabrila reports.
The center that unifies all.
A symbolic presentation of 4,600 tablets distributed to secondary school students across the nation's 6 geopolitical zones by MTN Nigeria. For Vice President Kashim Shettima, the remarkable gesture is not just an act of corporate social responsibility, but an investment in the intellectual capital of the nation and a testament to MTN's commitment to the progress of Nigeria.
His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR has asked that I express his immense gratitude to the leadership of MTN Nigeria Communications PLC for this incredible act of generosity. We thank you for supporting the efforts of this administration by investing in the digital literacy of our students. These devices will ensure that our children are as equipped as their counterparts across the world to function effectively in a technology-driven 21st century.
He called for more private sector partnership in investing in the nation's education system, which is crucial to the success of providing quality education for the Nigerian child.
As policymakers, it is our duty to complement the efforts with sound policies and increase budgetary allocations to education. Let us remember that the future of Nigeria lies in the classrooms of today. Every child, regardless of their socio-economic background, deserves access to quality education.
These tablets are far more than just learning devices. They represent our commitment to empowering the next generation with the essential tools they need to thrive in an increasing digital world.
It is a gateway to knowledge, innovation, and limitless opportunities. With these tablets, our students will not only improve their digital literacy, but also enhance their research capabilities, coding skills, and overall academic performance.
This event marked a significant milestone in advancing digital learning and literacy across Nigeria and making digital inclusion a reality for every Nigerian student. In Abuja, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
Meanwhile, a special session was held by the House of Representatives Committee on University Education weeks after budget defense, as it summoned 3 vice-chancellors following their non-appearance to defend their budget proposals for 2025. The meeting was called at the instance of Speaker Tajuddin Abbas. National Assembly correspondent Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports that after several hours of interface, the meeting was adjourned for another 2 weeks.
2 out of the 3 vice-chancellors summoned for the meeting appeared in company of the Executive Secretary, National Universities Commission, who requested the committee to excuse the University of Lagos. It appears the 2 vice-chancellors of Federal University Gusau and that of Army Biu, according to the chairman Fulata, were also not engaged during the 2024 oversight carried out by the committee.
What are your reasons for avoiding the committee for nearly 2 years?
I was not avoiding you, but due to the circumstances we happen to find ourselves in our situation, in our own environment, it becomes very, very difficult for us to operate.
The 2 vice-chancellors, however, presented 2025 budget proposals, after which members of the committee scrutinized their submissions.
These figures for this section is an envelope budgeting. It did not emanate from us. If I have my way, naturally, I will need to have more money, especially for overhead.
This document before us is your document. We need to, we need to have a copy of the one that the Mr. President presented, which is the envelope, so that we can also compare to see whether there is any typographical error in the document presented before us here.
You didn't tell us how you utilized the capital of previous year. You didn't say, tell us how you utilized the overhead of last year. And yes, you are telling us that the 1.2 billion is too small for you. The way it works, you have to convince the parliament through argument.
Members queried the proposals brought forward by the vice-chancellors and asked them to report back in 2 weeks with a detailed 2025 budget appropriation of their respective institutions. From the National Assembly, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA.
And still in the National Assembly, the Senate has resolved to invite heads of security and intelligence agencies for a closed-door meeting as it seeks briefing on alleged funding of Boko Haram by the United States Agency for International Development, USAID. The resolution was sequel to a motion from Senator Ali Ndume and 8 other senators from Borno, Yobe, Bauchi and Ogun states. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali has all the details.
The allegation was tied to the alarm raised by the Defense Headquarters that Boko Haram insurgents were being trained by some international organizations. Lawmakers were circumspect in their contributions during debate on the matter, owing to the fact that it touched on security and diplomacy. But reference was made to a viral video of a United States congressman who, while at the inaugural hearing of the Department of Government Efficiency, alleged that USAID has been funding terrorist organizations across the world.
Over the years, the modus operandi of Boko Haram in Nigeria has been a source of great concern, as their source of funding and operations have been shrouded in mystery.
Numerous attempts to investigate on the funding of these terrorists and bandits did not yield the much desired result.
The effort of our security agencies that stopped them, they have occupied the entire country. We saw hell.
It is important in a plenary like this, it is almost impossible to do justice to the issues raised on this motion.
The Senate should immediately invite the National Security Advisor, the Director General of the Nigerian Intelligence Agency, the Director General of the DSS, the Director General of the DIA, to brief the Senate in a closed session on the veracity or otherwise of these very serious allegations.
The briefing will hold soon on a convenient date. Bill to establish special agro-economic zones was among 5 that passed first reading. Senate has honored the late Pa Edwin Clark, who died this week Monday in response to a motion from Senator Thomas Onuwapo during plenary.
He was an amazing man who contributed immensely to his immediate community, his own nations, and the country in general.
Meanwhile, presidents of the Senate received in audience a delegation of the PANDEF, where the call to immortalize the late elder statesman resonated.
And we just said, I love Nigeria, I love Nigeria, I'm in Nigeria, I'm in Nigeria. He said I'm in Nigeria twice, I love Nigeria twice. And the next thing, we stopped talking. We rushed, the nurse rushed at him, and he did not speak again. We took him to the hospital, and after some hours, the doctor said he had gone.
In another development, the Benue State Caucus at the National Assembly has asked the State Assembly to rescind decisions on the removal of the Benue State Chief Judge and suspension of some state lawmakers, describing the actions as unconstitutional.
That some section of the Benue State House of Assembly, numbering about 17 of the 31 members sitting, purportedly resolved to remove the State Chief Judge in flagrant violation of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The caucus has resolved to petition the National Judicial Council and the National Assembly for intervention. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Let's look at other issues now, as President Bola Tinubu's commitment to the progress of the Niger Delta is being prioritized as it takes deliberate steps to ensure the completion of all ongoing projects in the region. Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Oil, Heineken Okwobiri, also reiterates that the president is committed to addressing concerns of the Niger Delta. This forms the focus of an interaction between the minister and members of the South-South Caucus of the 10th House of Representatives in Abuja. Lydia Sampson was there.
The lawmakers' visit is to express solidarity with the federal government's ongoing efforts to transform the oil sector and advance development in the Niger Delta. The minister said President Tinubu is focused on ensuring peace, development and timely delivery of vital infrastructure across Nigeria. Heineken Okwobiri also highlighted key federal government initiatives, particularly the Host Community Development Trust Fund, established under the Petroleum Industry Act to benefit host communities.
I have not seen any community where somebody who does illegal refining has been able to raise enough money to sustain his community. Nobody. And I've challenged them. And I believe that the time has come for all of us as leaders to join the advocacy, amongst our kinsmen, to stop this crime.
He decried a situation where host communities are yet to fully access benefits, not because the funds are not available, but because of infighting amongst some communities. The chairman of the South-South Caucus, Frederick Agbedi, member representing Ekeremo, Sagbama Federal Constituency, commended the minister for his leadership and expressed the caucus readiness to collaborate with the federal government in addressing the region's developmental challenges.
Issues of environmental degradation. You are aware of the Ogoni issues. It's not only about the Ogonis, it's all over the Niger Delta, where oil is explored.
The minister commended the caucus for their unity and commitment to finding solutions for the region's challenges, adding that their collaborative approach aligns with President Tinubu's vision of fostering peace and sustainable progress in the Niger Delta. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Elsewhere, the House of Representatives has mandated an ad hoc committee to get to the bottom of reported violence in local government area secretariats in Osun State this week, which led to loss of lives. At Wednesday's plenary, the House also asked the Inspector General of Police to intervene and nip the crisis in the bud. National Assembly correspondent Mitari Igbe reports.
Adopting a motion of urgent national importance by 9 lawmakers, the House is concerned that reports of violence in Osun State over conflicting interpretation of court judgment on local government officials leave much to be desired. Lawmakers emphasized that security agencies should restore normalcy before things get out of hand.
The present situation in Osun State may snowball into a free-for-all unless urgent actions are taken by relevant authorities. The preventable violence which happened in Osun State has led to the death of 6 persons, while scores of others have suffered severe injuries and presently receiving treatment in various hospitals.
On the need to investigate the crisis in Osun State, Honorable Idris Ahmed Wase, who serve as the chairman of the committee, they have 1 week to report back to the House.
Frequent road accidents along some highways in the country were highlighted in another motion, with calls for preventive measures.
Within 2025 alone, over 10 accidents have occurred on Lokoja and Atako-Filile Expressway. All the federal government, through the Federal Ministry of Works, to expedite an expansion of the road.
The slow pace of the construction of the Bida-Suleja Road, in spite of an alternative funding source through the Road Infrastructure Tax Credit Scheme, has contributed hugely to the indiscriminate parking of tankers along major roads on the route, thereby worsening traffic congestion and increasing the risk of accident.
Other resolutions sought additional mandate secretaries for the FCT administration, as well as inclusion of Ndokwa Ukwani Federal Constituency in the Presidential Amnesty Programme.
Concerned at the exclusion of Ndokwa Ukwani Federal Constituency from the Amnesty Programme is causing growing frustration among local population. To urge the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory to appoint 6 additional secretaries to enhance good governance, effective service delivery within the Federal Capital Territory.
A bill to repeal and reenact the National Assembly Service Act 2025 scaled second reading. The House observed a minute silence in honor of late elder statesman Edwin Clark, extolling his selfless services to the Nigerian nation and the development of the Niger Delta region. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
And away from the National Assembly now, from the 1st of March 2025, petrol trucks carrying over 60,000 litres of petrol will not be allowed to ply Nigerian roads. Executive Director, Distribution Systems, Storage, Retailing Infrastructure, Nigeria Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, Ogbugo Ukoha, reeled out this and other industry concerns at a press briefing in Abuja. Lydia Samson reports.
The sight of petrol tankers on the roads laden with volatile petrol is a reminder of what can happen in case of an accident. This is worsened by the massive volume of products being carted around. Mitigation of truck in transit accident is at the core of the regulatory framework issued by the NMDPRA. He decried a situation where people stormed social media platforms with unverified claims of what he called selfish and untrue market strategies on products' quality.
We've also historically watched in marketing. People will have their own marketing strategies and how they involve in this. But like I've said, anybody who thinks they can mislead the innocent Nigerian is actually being disrespectful. Because as long as I'm concerned, Nigerians are hardworking and are quite discerning. You and I drive your cars. You have your generators at home. You have your cooking, and you can tell whether what anybody is saying is factual or not. As a responsive regulator, we will put out with transparency the information that is available to us.
He emphasized that NMDPRA, as a regulator, complies with the PIA specification of petroleum products, and therefore no product is distributed in Nigeria without a duly accredited certification. In Abuja, Lydia Samson, NTA News.
Processing driver's license is now made seamless, and biometric investigation can be done in real time to aid national security across the country. Corps Marshal for the Road Safety Corps, Shehu Mohammed, stated this after inaugurating a mini print farm in Lagos. Musa Toliat has the details.
Driver's license is a legal authorization that shows someone has official permission to drive a vehicle after passing a driving test. However, This legal document must be made available to the motoring public when the need arises, regardless of the number of people who apply for it. Corps Marshal, Federal Safety Corps, Shehu Mohammed, who was represented, says the new mini print farm has the capacity to address prompt production and issuance of driver's license in real time.
The Lagos Print Farm has a capacity of producing 1,800 cards per hour, meaning that in a day, full capacity of 6 hours working, we should be having 9,000 cards on daily basis.
Lagos is very, very germane and very, very important to FRSC. We have come a long way. So the Corps deemed it fit to bring in a mini print farm to Lagos.
The mini print farm is a tripartite arrangement.
We think and hope, since it's going to start running now, all those problems of going to Abuja, waiting for Abuja to give us our driver's license and all that would end.
Tour facility at the newly inaugurated mini print farm is an integral part of the event. The need to address and resolve concerns of unclaimed driver's license was also raised.
270,000 printed driver's licenses lying in the State's Board of Internal Revenues all over, yet to be claimed by their owners.
The Federal Safety Corps has said that Lagos accounts for 40% of driver's license applicants, and this is expected to complement the efforts of the one in Abuja with a view to catering to the needs of motoring public across the country. I am Musa Toliat, NTA News.
Many thanks, Musa. Let's now talk about air services as connecting Algeria, Abuja and Douala are expected to commence operations on 6th of April this year. Now, this came to light during discussions on bilateral air service agreement between the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, and Algerian ambassador to Nigeria, Mozeed Hussein, who paid a courtesy visit to the minister in Abuja. The Algerian ambassador requested the minister's intervention in ensuring that the necessary documents are completed to facilitate the commencement of operations. The minister commended Algeria's efforts in strengthening aviation ties with Nigeria. He pledged to expedite all necessary processes to ensure a smooth implementation of the agreement, reaffirming the ministry's commitment to fostering bilateral cooperation in the aviation sector. In other news, the federal government has congratulated the government and the people of the Gambia on their 60th independence anniversary. Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tuga, in a congratulatory message to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation and Gambia's abroad, Dr. Mahmoudou Tangara stated that Nigeria and the Gambia share a long-standing relationship rooted in mutual respect, shared values, and a common vision for a prosperous and united Africa. Yusuf Tuga commended the Gambia for its remarkable progress and resilience since gaining independence. The statement therefore expressed hope for deepening cooperation in areas of mutual interest, particularly in addressing regional and global challenges. Now, President Bola Tinubu has appointed Dr. Danjuma Adamu Ismaila as Rector and Chief Executive of the Nigerian College of Aviation Technology, Zaria. Dr. Ismaila, an expert in air transportation management, transport economic policy, and aviation security, graduated from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, with a degree in physics in 1989. He also holds a postgraduate diploma in transportation and has attended many courses, workshops, and seminars on civil aviation management and transportation. He is a member of the Royal Aeronautical Society, UK, and the Air Transport Research Society, among others. Before the appointment, Dr. Ismaila was a lecturer at the Federal University of Transportation, Daura. This is News Extra. More to come after this short break. Stay with us.
Candidates. UTME registration starts February 3rd and ends March 8, 2025. Create a profile using your unique phone number. Simply SMS NIN and your NIN number to either 55019 or 66019. Only candidates who will be 16 years old by 30th September 2025 are eligible. Younger aspirants must have to be declared by JAMB as exceptional, only with scores of 80% in all the 4 prescribed examinations, or take ordinary trial mock examination. Consolidated total payment for registration, CBT center, written text, vendor commission, and bank charges are as follows. Trial testing mock only 3,500. DE registration only 5,700. UTME registration only 7,200. UTME and mock registration 8,700. Once you have registered with the data supplied by NIMC, no retroactive data change will be allowed nor affected by JAMB. You can, however, use the query option to obtain NIMC updated data to embed your previous personal data with JAMB.
JAMB, enhancing academic excellence.
Aha! Bro, I tell you, this match 3-0. Okay. If I win you, something will come out.
Don't play with me. Fast ball. Ah, you know what? You go shot me. Now we got this match.
Keep the banter going with Glow Borrow Me Credit or Data. Dial *303# to borrow airtime or data and pay later.
Is that ready?
Power your relentless ambition with ultra-high-speed data. Glow Unlimited.
So hot, Auntie. You'll get used to it. What's the big deal? It's just a cereal.
Just a cereal? You are talking about something that has helped thousands of Niger farmers provide for their families for decades. And it's packed with the energy and nutrition. That's why Golden Morn is so special to us. You get it?
Keep enjoying Niger's favorite breakfast cereal fortified with Grain Smart, a special combination of iron and vitamins to help your family make every day golden.
I get it now.
Nestle.
Sure.
Kelechi.
Yes, mommy.
Get me my stick of cigarettes.
Okay, mom.
Brother John said make you give me 2 sticks of cigar.
I beg, take, make you move.
We're live in the open market for Epic 10X Challenge.
My people, today now.
Today, I will show you how the power of new Epic 10X gives your toilet a better cleaning than bleach.
Than bleach?
Yes, so.
Impossible.
Toilets have stains which bleach cannot clean effectively. But Epic is thicker and sticks better, which gives 10X better cleaning versus bleach and kills germs.
Oh, wow.
You can now see that Epic is better than bleach.
No buy am.
But why?
No see say this big bull bag of rice no get the new big bull holographic seal.
Not true.
Introducing the Big Bull Holographic Seal Tape, your favorite authentic Big Bull rice, 50 kg and 25 kg. Now with holographic seal tape. This is to ensure you get the premium product from Big Bull rice. Do not buy if the holographic seal tape is not on the bag or is broken. Big Bull rice. Tasty rice nourished you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Why is your sun shining like this?
Can't you see that Harmattan season is here? We need to protect our children from this dry weather.
What about the invisible germs?
Invisible germs?
During Harmattan, it's not enough to only protect your skin. You also need protection from these invisible germs. To protect our families, we use Dettol.
Harmattan season brings a lot of germs, but Dettol with germ defense gives protection from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Be Dettol sure.
Thank you for remaining tuned. Action Against Hunger, ACF, and its consortium partners are developing new strategies to build resilience among communities in the Lake Chad region, with a focus on women and girls' empowerment. The second phase of the Resilak project, funded by the European Union, aims to provide sustainable livelihood solutions to communities in Maiduguri, Jere, and Kunduga local government areas of Borno State. Tina Toro reports.
Consolidating on the successes of Resilac 1, the second phase, Resilac 2, focuses on strengthening community resilience and providing sustainable livelihoods with a strong emphasis on empowering women and girls. The project, implemented in collaboration with NIM Foundation, NADA and REBI, is co-financed by the European Union and French Development Agency. Resilac 2 prioritizes economic recovery, social cohesion, and sustainable land management, with key interventions to include access to clean water, healthcare, economic empowerment, women's poverty alleviation, and improved hygiene and sanitation.
The project, by its nature, it considers gender as a cross-cutting. We have integrated activities, we have mainstreaming activities, and we are also intended to reach 45% of the total beneficiaries will be women.
The two-day workshop fosters collaboration among stakeholders, ensuring project success through cross-fertilization of ideas and resource mobilization. A consortium led by Action Against Hunger and Care International partners with state actors, each addressing critical sectors of health, education, water, sanitation, and hygiene to drive economic and social recovery.
We are engaging with the communities to know what are their capacities, what are those things that are available, what are those things that we can build on. So it's most likely a community that eats from the community.
Resilac 2 is building on the gains of Resilac 1. It's like a research, so the outcome of that recommendations are now put into practice to ensure that the gaps are being bridged.
Project launch of the Lake Chad Inclusive Economic and Social Recovery, Resilac 2, sets the tone for a more prosperous and progressive region as stakeholders make actionable commitments to fostering sustainable peace, economic growth, and development. In Maiduguri, Tina Toro, NTA News.
And away from Borno State, now we head to Yobe, where the end is near for chronic kidney disease, a monster that has been plaguing some local government areas in that state. As scientists deployed from the Biomedical Research Training Center of Yobe State University have intensified sample collection in Gashua, the epicenter of the disease, for laboratory analysis and examination. This giant move aims to unravel the causes of the disease that is pushing many to early graves. Yunusa Suleiman monitored data and sample collection exercise in Gashua town and surrounding communities and now reports.
Without regard for age, sex or social status, chronic kidney disease has been a major public health challenge in Bade local government area for decades, claiming hundreds of lives and leaving dozens of others on hemodialysis in various secondary and tertiary health facilities in the state. This disease has had a devastating impact on many families, including that of 25-year-old Usman Dagona, who lost 6 family members, including his biological father. This traumatic experience remains indelible in his mind, and that of his widowed mother.
What happened to me, I do not pray or wish for anybody to have such an experience, because seeing your loved ones passing away one by one because you have no role to play as a result of this kidney failure.
I myself, I have already lost about 6 of my blood relation. All of them has undergone dialysis before they lost their life.
Almost every family in Badi has a terrifying story to tell about this silent yet painful killer.
It appears that this monster, chronic kidney disease, has defied every practical solution. But with the deployment of these scientists to unravel the root cause, the course of history is about to change.
We are going to conduct high-level analysis, including genetics, to understand if the causation is linked to genetic background, lifestyle, or environment itself. To the best of my knowledge, this is the largest state-funded investigation on a single health issue that I've come across in Africa.
It's a welcome idea, and we appreciate government showing its concern on its citizens.
After completing their task in Gashua, the team will move to Damaturu, where they expect to collect another 1,000 samples, rekindling hope that the end is near for this killer disease. In Damaturu, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
And still talking health, Jigawa State Governor Umar Namadi has received a comprehensive report detailing the latest findings from a general household survey conducted by the state's Bureau of Statistics in partnership with international development partners, UNICEF. This initiative aims to provide actionable insights to guide policy making and development strategies across the state. Muhammad Musa Askira reports that the newly released data is expected to play a pivotal role in shaping informed decisions and driving evidence-based development plans, ensuring sustainable growth and improved welfare for the people of Jigawa State.
Focusing on health facility sensors and consumer price index among other critical development determinants, the General Household Survey sought to provide a reliable statistical data that will help the state governments to make an informed policy decisions for meaningful developments in Jigawa. The presentation of this new data, experts believe Jigawa has achieved significant milestones in strengthening systems for measuring child poverty, developing key policies and action plans, as well as building the capacity of the government for effective and efficient service delivery. United Nations Children Fund's Chief Field Officer commends Umar Namadi government for the data and appeals to the government to ensure its utilization to inform planning.
The local government chairmen have a pivotal role to play in shaping the discourse and actions needed, especially to address child poverty in Jigawa.
Governor Umar Namadi describes the new findings as an impressive initiative reflecting Jigawa government's unwavering commitments to advancing the welfare of children and improving outcomes for the most vulnerable groups in the state's communities using data to inform decisions making.
The Consumer Price Index, which has shown the behavior of the economic variables in the state, has clearly indicated what are the major causes of high inflation in Jigawa State. And as a government, we will be able to try and address this issue going forward.
It is believed that the provision of this new research will change the approach to development targets in Jigawa State and place the government and its development partners on the right tracks to achieve results in governance. From Duty, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
Let's look at other issues now, as the MTN Impulse Spelling Bee, organized by MTN Nigeria, has been described as a gateway for opportunity targeted at teenagers between ages 9 and 16 to gain requisite skills needed to excel in today's digital world. This came to the fore at the presentation of the 2024 winner of the Impulse Spelling Bee competition, Ikena Ikechukwu. Bolaji Akim completes the report.
The MTN Impulse Spelling Bee, which began in 2018, is to promote educational excellence among Nigerian students. Having won the 2024 edition, 15-year-old Ikena Ikechukwu is to be the CEO of one of Nigeria's leading telecommunications outfits, MTN Nigeria, for a day. The one-day CEO and his mother were welcomed to MTN Nigeria office by top management of the telecom company and was ushered into the boardroom, where he had a meeting with the MTN Nigeria management. While speaking to the media, the MTN Nigeria Chief Marketing Officer, Onyeye Ikenna Emeka, said the M+ Spelling Bee has inspired young Nigerians digitally and also brought out the best in them.
The initiative is focused on making sure that the students, school students, are able to build their self-confidence, improve their act of public speaking, build on their digital literacy skills.
The one-day MTN Nigeria CEO Ikena Ikechukwu, a student of Glorious Covenant School in Rivers State, who could not hide his joy, said, though the victory is sweet, the journey, however, was tasking.
I just had to study harder, get a lot of words, about 5,000 words in one booklet, so I had about 3. So to be learning vast words, longer, harder, and different kinds of origins.
The winner also received an education fund of 5 million naira, a smartphone, and a laptop. About 40,000 contestants took part in the competition that reflects the organization's belief in empowering the next generation. In Lagos, Bolaji Akim, NTA News.
Congratulations, Ikena. The sky is indeed your springboard. Now, the National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure, NASENI, has established a Sustainable and Emerging Technology Institute in Kano, a state-of-the-art facility capable of admitting 2,000 students annually. This initiative aims to drive rapid technological advancement in Nigeria. At the groundbreaking ceremony, NASENI's Executive Vice Chairman and Chief Executive, Khalil Suleiman Halilu, expressed optimism that the institute would spur significant economic transformation in Nigeria. Shehu Muhammad Dati has this.
The National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure, NASENI, has taken a giant leap in Nigeria's technology advancement with the establishment of a multi-million naira institute at Bayero University, Kano. The cutting-edge facility is poised to put Nigeria on the global innovation map, cementing Bayero University, Kano State, and Nigeria's position as a hub for technological excellence.
Not just laid the foundation, but we are looking forward to, the rapid completion of this institute so that it can drive a lot of economic transformation in the country.
For the Ministry of Innovation, Science and Technology, this initiative represents a significant milestone in Nigeria's journey towards technological advancement, sustainability, and innovation-driven growth. The institution has expressed its delight in being part of the momentous occasion, which underscores NASENI's commitment to driving Nigeria's technological progress.
Collaboration between government, academia, and the private sector, we are laying the foundation for a future that is self-sufficient, technologically competitive, and environmentally sustainable. It aligns with our commitment to scientific research, digital transformation, and capacity building in emerging technologies.
For stakeholders, this groundbreaking ceremony is more than just a symbolic event. It's a seed planted for progress, sustainability, and national prosperity. NASENI's visionary leadership and commitment to innovation are set to transform Nigeria's technology landscape, and this institute is a shining example of that vision. Shehu Muhammad Dati, NTA News.
Away from science and technology, let's now talk about the power sector. Over 20,000 rural communities in Nigeria are said to be without electricity supply. That's quite huge now. But the cheering news is that the federal government has mapped out 3,700 communities to be connected to the solar mini-grid as part of interventions to close the energy gap. Joshua Ojita reports that some rural areas in Plateau State have already been lit up under the initiative.
For more than 2 decades, communities of Bakin, Chiawa, and Kwande in Kwampa local government area of Plateau State have been without electricity, and all efforts to connect these communities to the national grid yielded no result due to vandalism. Now, federal government stepped in with this intervention of solar mini-grid to supply the communities with electricity at affordable rates.
In celebration, the communities turned out for the inauguration of the solar hybrid mini-grids.
We are very, very happy. Government is not the one that will provide job for everybody. So it will allow this young one within the society to learn trade.
I will ensure all of you to make sure that this project does not suffer vandalism.
The mini-grids will supply electricity to more than 3,500 households.
The first phase, which is going to be 25 communities per state, will end up being 925 communities across board in the entire federation, and will be infusing over 92 megawatts of clean energy into our energy space to serve the communities, mostly the rural communities.
More than 20,000 people will benefit from this project, and it is important for job creation, also especially for agriculture, industries, and many other areas.
A 1.2 billion counterpart funding was paid to enable our primary health clinics get lighted through projects like this.
European Union and the German government supported federal government with more than 60% funding for the project under the Nigerian Energy Support Program. Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
In today's fast-paced digital age, mobile phones have evolved beyond mere communication tools into all-purpose digital services, devices serving as calendars, cameras, entertainment hubs, and even digital wallets. While these devices have become indispensable, they also present a growing challenge: maintaining social etiquette in public spaces, with increasing occurrence of loud ringtones, notifications, and media sounds disrupting public settings. Concerns about social decorum are, of course, rising. Now, Chimdima Ndubisi in this report will tell us more about these disruptions.
Remember those hilarious early days when GSM phones first hit the Nigerian market? Who would forget the rip-cracking scenes? People yelling into their phones as if shouting would strengthen the network signal. That period was funnily known as GSM madness.
Hello?
Over time, society seemed to adjust to proper mobile phone etiquette. Fast forward to today, it appears some of these habits truly never went away. In fact, they have evolved into new and arguably worse breaches of phone etiquette. From loud ringtones disrupting official, social, and religious gatherings, to people blaring video clips in public spaces, one begins to wonder, has phone usage spiraled out of control?
It distracts me from being focused. That's why you see I respond by either I leave that place or I shout on that person to leave that place.
When you enter church, there is a written board notifying you that you should switch off your gadgets. The adult complies, but the youth, they will also have a reason of violating the laws.
Recently, a man in France was fined about 200 euros for making a call on speakerphone while on a train. A clear indication of how seriously some societies take social disturbances. Should Nigeria adopt stricter measures beyond just frowns and disapproving looks? Naomi seems to think so, arguing that it's all about protecting and respecting others' peace of mind.
Once you are in a public gathering and your phone rings, that person should be fined.
Phone should be switched off. Should be switched off until after whatsoever they do, before you can put it on.
Oswald and some others, however, see things differently.
I know with awareness, most people will learn, not all.
Noise pollution isn't the only concern. Mobile phone addiction, the constant urge to scroll through social media, has become a growing social epidemic. It's stealing attention in classrooms, official meetings, and even family gatherings.
A phone is meant to discuss privately with people. It's not meant to just start talking, everybody start hearing you.
You're supposed to have an earpiece, not to disrupt the peace of other people.
While using earpieces or earbuds is recommended, being mindful of high volumes and excessive screen time are equally important.
Why you don't say you don't go sell my market? Why you say make I send goods? Make I send money first. Or God send me my market, chap chap, my customer they
The
wait.
conversation here is not about banning mobile phones in public places, but about using them responsibly, respecting the next person, and maintaining decorum in public places. In Abuja, Chimdima Ndubisi, NTA News.
Fantastic report, Chimdima. Which are you guilty of? Loud ringtones or speaking loudly when on a call? All right, I hope you do better. Now, the Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, says the introduction of concrete pavement road construction in some parts of the country is to ensure that such roads are more durable. The minister stated this while inspecting some ongoing road projects in Delta State. Godfrey Nzukwe reports.
Few years ago, intense of flooding affected some of the roads in Nigeria, including some portions of the East-West Road in Delta State. The flood affected some areas, making it difficult for easy movement of motorists. To tackle this challenge, the federal government awarded the reconstruction of roads in Ume, Ugeli-Patani Road, among others. While inspecting the two sections where work is ongoing, the Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, reiterated that difficult terrain will not affect the lifespan of the roads in the next 3 decades.
What we are doing is to isolate the locations that the roads were constructed within the floodplain and raise up the road pavement and use concrete to do it. And that is what True Tech is doing here. He has completed one section about 800 meters, almost a kilometer. He's doing the relief culverts because we also have to put a number of relief culverts so that the water can easily escape from one point to the other.
We are grateful to Mr. President.
Also inspected were 38.5 kilometer construction of the Benin-Sapele-Warri Road, sections 1, 2, and 3. The minister directed the contractors to focus on one carriageway comprising many lanes to make the road accessible.
The fund that NMPC allocated for this particular project has been exhausted. And so we are appealing to them to complete the 12 kilometers, and then we will appeal to Mr. President to take over the funding under the New Hope Infrastructure Funding.
The minister also gave a brief update of the construction of the Lagos-Calabar Highway project, cutting across many states. Inspection of federal road projects by the minister continues in Edo State. In Asaba, Godfrey Nzekwe, NTA News.
It was a gathering of security experts, academics and dignitaries as former Inspector General of Police Dr. Solomon Arase unveiled 2 books on elections and internal security management. Former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, who unveiled the books, underscored the critical role of security in national stability and democratic processes. Francis Fom was there.
I understand this other.
The prestigious book launch brought together policymakers, law enforcement officials, and security scholars to witness the unveiling of 2 insightful books authored by former Inspector General of Police Dr. Solomon Arase, titled Selected Readings on Internal Security and Readings on Election Security Management, provides in-depth analysis of contemporary security challenges and offers strategic recommendations for improving internal security and election management in Nigeria.
The security governance element must be effective. This requires that the police and other complementary security agencies must be mentally mobile to act with knowledge of not just the laws of democracy, but to have the critical thinking and intellectual robustness.
To the glory of God. The books unveiled by former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan commended Dr. Arase for his contributions to national security discourse through research and documentation. He emphasized the importance of institutional knowledge in strengthening Nigeria's security architecture.
We're in a society where people accept the wrong thing and celebrate those who do the wrong thing. And if we grow to the level where society will not accept the wrong thing, people will no longer do the wrong thing. Otherwise, you don't see police where they are even doing the voting. And that is the standard in so many countries.
Men that have integrity, men that have transparency and accountability should be those we pick to run our elections.
This 25-chapter book is structured into 9 sections.
Renowned scholars Professor Ameze Gobadia and Professor Mike Iriale reviewed the books, highlighting their academic and practical relevance. They noted that the books will serve as essential reference materials for security agencies, policymakers, and researchers interested in policing and election security management. With the launch of these books, Dr. Solomon Arase continues to shape discussions on security reforms in Nigeria, offering solutions that could influence future policing and election security management in the country. Francis from NTA News.
Let's pause here. That's more news on the other side. Stay with us. Thank you for staying tuned. To help strengthen prudence in the administration of public funds and ensure good governance, a two-day summit for local government areas in Gombe State has opened in Gombe. Emmanuel Akila reports that speakers at the summit include leadership of anti-corruption agencies in Nigeria.
The summit themed Local Government Autonomy, Fiscal Responsibility and Sustainable Development. Governor Muhammad Ino Yahya says is designed to bolster the capacity of local government chairmen towards prudent management of resources.
The recent Supreme Court decision and the impending constitutional amendments regarding local government autonomy have brought to fore the need for us to prepare our local government executives with the skills, insights, and knowledge necessary to deliver sustainable prosperity.
Topics of paper presentations by the anti-graft agencies dwell on strategies to avoid temptations and pressures to embezzle public funds with full implementation of local government autonomy in Nigeria.
When people bid and quote for your contracts for supplies of goods, there is also what we call commingling of contracts. When you are supposed to split, you put everything together and you give it to somebody because it's your brother-in-law.
As local government chairman, lead by example. When your people know that you are straightforward, people will even be careful in approaching you.
With the summit, local government chairmen appear to be confident of executing the duties of their offices devoid of corruption.
We are hopeful that autonomy will be realistic.
Not only at the local government in the state, but once you click on shangam.com, you can be able to see what Shangam local government are doing.
Stakeholders in attendance, including traditional leaders, are charged to play their roles in nipping corruption in the board at the third tier of government. In Gombe, Emmanuel Akila, NTA News.
In other news, strategic implementation plans by the current administration to secure food sufficiency in the country is receiving a boost from the African Union Development Agency, New Partnership for Africa's Development, AUDA-NEPAD. The agency is set to inject 600 million naira grant to encourage smallholder farmers in 7 pilot states in the country.
AUDA-NEPAD is championing the empowerment of the smaller holder farmers across the country by means of providing them access to finance and credit facilities, development of infrastructure such as irrigation and storage facilities in line with its Agenda 2063. Now, AUDA-NEPAD is ready with a 600 million naira grant to be distributed to 7 states of Nasarawa, Imo, Abia, Cross River, Yobe, Osun, and Bauchi, having been selected as beneficiaries of the pilot phase.
The program is not for counterpart funding. It's a direct grant from AUDA-NEPAD. We are not looking for matching funds. We are issuing grants to these smallholder farmers.
The commissioners and coordinators of the program in these states are interfacing with the national coordinator and chief executive officer of AUDA-NEPAD Nigeria to share ideas that will promote investments, implementation, and monitoring of the program to ensure the desired result is achieved.
We're looking at up to 20,000 farmers. The next phase is to provide training for them. The second phase is to find out what their need is.
The first stage is to get the staff on the ground. Second, to enumerate the farmers based on the distribution by local government. We have done that.
The entire aim of my state in this business is to encourage as much as possible these people at the foundation so that whatever they're able to generate will be taken to the next level. They are like primary producers.
AUDA-NEPAD Nigeria is also weighing options to drive the agribusiness value chain initiative, including robust partnerships amongst stakeholders.
Now, the chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on Nigeria-China Parliamentary Relations, Jafaru Yakubu, has presented the 2025 Nigeria-China Sustainable Business Bilateral Trade and Investment Summit to the Ambassador of China, Yu Denhai. The summit aims at enhancing legislative agenda that is focused on ease of doing business in Nigeria, which is significant in fostering seamless business partnerships between Nigeria and China. Ambassador Yu Denhai appreciated the National Assembly's efforts and showed full support for the summit's success, emphasizing the importance of working harmoniously with the China Chamber of Commerce for proper coordination. The summit is expected to present credible investment opportunities and showcase market-ready projects for investors' engagement. Another break is due, please. Welcome back. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, says the administration is taking significant steps towards fostering economic growth and enhancing trade within the Federal Capital Territory, in line with the Renewed Hope initiative. The minister stated this at the inauguration of 2,500 units of Kamo District Market in Abuja. Aisha Obali reports.
Markets are vital to community development as they serve not only as centers for buying and selling, but also as a reflection of the local economic strength and resilience. The FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, who was represented by the Minister of State Dr. Maria Mahmoud during the commissioning ceremony, emphasized that the project aligns with the administration's commitment to empowering small businesses and creating a conducive environment for commerce.
Let it serve as a symbol of our commitment to building a vibrant economy and prosperous future for all. Let us work together, making Abuja not only the political capital of Nigeria, but also an economic powerhouse.
The minister urged traders and residents to maintain the market facilities by ensuring cleanliness and orderliness, as the administration, through the Abuja Investment Company Limited, will continue to open up spaces for model and modern markets. Minister of Women Affairs, Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, alongside other speakers, described the initiative as one of the cardinal policy thrusts of the Renewed Hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu.
The Renewed Hope promise of His Excellency President Bola Tinubu is being fulfilled day by day for a Nigeria filled with empowered women.
We're having these organized formal market structures that are part of the infrastructural development. You are seeing the distinction of a model capital city and the business venture of women in that capital city.
The market, developed on a 10-hectare land, will provide various services. In Abuja, Aisha Ubali, NTA News.
Let's talk more business. The businessman is here. Benny, what's the latest?
So much in the world of business. We start with the cheering news that Nigeria has officially been designated as Africa's digital trade champion, a role that could help create more than 10 million new jobs across the continent by the end of 2025. To this end, the federal government has reaffirmed Nigeria's commitment to leading Africa's digital trade agenda under the African Continental Free Trade Area, that is the AfCFTA. Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Jumoke Oduole, stated this on Wednesday during the AfCFTA Digital Trade Workshop and Global Market at the State House in Abuja.
Indeed, digital trade is transforming the continent's economic landscape, creating new opportunities for real economic growth, productive job creation, and poverty reduction. As we are all now aware, these efforts and more culminated in President Bola Ahmed Tinubu receiving a commendation from the African Union.
In pursuit of this aspiration, Customs has established a dedicated export command in Lagos, and we have actively participated in the AfCFTA guided trade initiatives.
At the workshop, which brought together officials from the federal and state governments, including commissioners of trade and industry, in addition to private sector experts, has the theme Unlocking State Export Potential. Now, amid Nigeria's improvement in ranking on the International Corruption Index released last month by the Transparency International for the year 2024, speakers at the unveiling of the report, Facts Behind the Corruption Perception Index, commissioned by the Technical Unit on Governance and Anti-Corruption Reforms, TUGA, say the improvement is as a result of ongoing reforms in the country and emphasize the need for continued commitment to the fight against corruption.
While this progress is encouraging, it is also a reminder that much work, a lot of work needs to be done. The marginal improvement reflects ongoing reforms in public financial management, increased enforcement actions by anti-corruption agencies, and Nigeria's commitment to strengthening institutional frameworks for transparency.
We consider there is a slight improvement as regards to, as in relation to our efforts. But again, I've said it before and I'm going to say it. For us as Nigerians, we must be more interested in adding value to our economic and social lives than getting discouraged by any international rating.
Nigeria, in this current CPI result that has been released, moved marginally from a CPI ranking of 25 to 26. It looks like something small, and it's actually a movement at a snail pace. But given the challenges we have had over the years, I think it's something that we should celebrate.
Well, now talking about celebrations, the Nigerian equities market actually closed the midweek trading bullish, that is positive, reversing parts of the losses recorded in previous sessions. And with the all-share index up 0.87%, closing at 108,609.51 basis points from 107,670.98 basis points recorded on Tuesday. This is as South Africa goes down 0.79% to close at 80,772.75 basis points. But in another twist for Tunisia tune index, it is a gain of 0.24% to close at 10,412.68 basis point. Well, this is it and business. Nyeri, you can take it from here.
Many thanks, Benny, for the update. Let me also update you that victims of the Tuesday's gunpowder explosion at Talata Mafara Weekly Market in Zamfara State are currently recuperating at the Mafara General Hospital and the Usman Danfodio University Teaching Hospital, Sokoto. Jamilu Ibrahim reports that as the actual cause of the explosion has been investigated, the relevant authority has announced a measure to forestall reoccurrence of the tragedy.
Mafara Market is one of the major weekly markets in Zamfara State, situated about 95 kilometers away from the state capital Gusau. Holds every Tuesday, attracting people from various parts of the country and the neighboring Niger Republic. It was indeed a Black Tuesday for some of the buyers and sellers, as gunpowder explosion occurred at the popular section of the market, where locally fabricated guns are sold and serviced. The tragedy left no fewer than 45 persons severely injured. While some of the victims are currently responding to treatment at the Talata Mafara General Hospital, others whose conditions were judged more critical have been referred to the Usman Danfodio University Teaching Hospital, Sokoto.
I don't actually know what happened. I just found myself on the hospital bed. Glory be to Almighty Allah. I am now feeling better.
The Mayor of Mafara, Alhaji Bello Muhammad Barmo, and the Talata Mafara Local Government Council Chairman Yahya Abubakar were among the early callers at the General Hospital to sympathize with the victims, even as they described the incident as devastating.
There are 50, but the dangerous casualties are 44, which they have already proceeded to Usman Danfodio Teaching Hospital, Sokoto. And all necessary action has been taken already in order to secure their health.
Meanwhile, the Talata Mafara Local Government Council has banned the sales and repairs of the locally fabricated guns in all the markets across the area with immediate effect. Effort to get the response of Zamfara State Police Command on the incident was, however, unsuccessful. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim.
Let's look away from Nigeria now. African leaders have teamed up to create funds to provide cheaper debt for countries in cash trap. Now, this is a fallout of the 37th ordinary session of the Assembly of the African Union. That's at the AU summit at the AU headquarters in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Francis Udojo has the story on Global Update.
African Development Bank beset by debt and billions of dollars in unfunded priorities. African leaders have approved a fund to provide concessional lending to cash-strapped governments. Report says the facility, known as the African Financial Stability Mechanism, AFSM, will be managed by the African Development Bank, AFDB. The bank, in a statement, said The AFSM will have its own credit rating and will be able to borrow from international money markets. The call to create the facility was made in 2022 as the COVID-19 pandemic and the war in Ukraine drove sovereign defaults and debt crisis in developing countries. The bank said membership of the fund will be voluntary and open to any member state of the African Union. Francis Udojo, NTA News.
Back home, President Bola Tinubu extends warm congratulations to Azibuike Ishikwene, Managing Director and Editor-in-Chief of The Interview, on his 60th birthday. A fellow of the Nigerian Guild of Editors, Azu, as he is fondly known, has had a distinguished career in journalism spanning over 3 decades. He has worked with several reputable media organizations, including The Punch, where he was a columnist and editorial board member, this day as editor, and later the Deputy Managing Director and leadership, where he currently serves as the Group Managing Director. President Tinubu praised God Almighty to grant the journalist good health and fulfillment in all his endeavors. Now time to talk sports, and Badi is here. Badi, feed us.
All right, let's get straight to it. Let's begin with the Nigerian Victors team, who put their initial visa controversy behind them as they secured a remarkable victory with a gold, silver and 4 bronze medals to show off at the just concluded Invictus Games in Vancouver, Canada. On their return to Abuja, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, described the team's strong outing as a mark of patriotism and resilience in challenging times.
To our brave participants, you have shown the world that it means what it means to rise above adversity. Your participation in these games is a reflection of your unwavering commitment to excellence, even in the face.
Moving on, match day 6 of the Nigerian Women's Football League Premiership recorded 22 goals as Delta Queens secured the highest scoreline with 4-1 thrashing of Robo Queens in Asaba. In Lafia, Benue Queens, who are yet to record any win this season, fell 2-0 to Rivers Angels. In Umuahia, the first ever top-flight meeting between Abia Angels and Ekiti Queens was decided by Chiamaka Obialo's 21st minute strike in favor of the host. And straight to the MPFL, where newly promoted Ikorodu boys, that's Ikorodu City, are determined to finish in the top half of the table with a 2-1 win that they got earlier today against Plateau United to put them just a point behind 4th-placed Abia Warriors, who defeated Enugu Rangers by a lone goal to trigger a top-4 battle. Elsewhere, Rivers United's deep in form continued with a 1-0 draw with relegation-threatened Akwa United, while second-placed Shooting Stars shared the spoils in a 2-0 draw with rock-bottom Lobby Stars. Now, reigning African Footballer of the Year, Ademola Lookman, is in the eyes of the storm following the recent comments from his manager, Gianpiero Gasperini, over his missed penalty in the UEFA Champions League on Tuesday night. Gasperini said Lookman was not supposed to take the penalty and claimed the 27-year-old had a frankly terrible record in training. And of course, he said Ademola Lookman, visibly not impressed with that, replied his manager, unquote, saying, being singled out in the manner I've been not only hurts but feels deeply disrespectful, not least because of the immense hard work and commitment I've put always in each and every day to help bring success to this club and to the incredible fans of Bergamo. Now, who knows what the eventual outcome of the standoff will be? Only time will tell. All right, let's quickly update you when it comes to the live UEFA Champions League matches going on. And of course, earlier today, Dortmund, they moved to the round of 16 after recording a 3-0 aggregate victory over Sporting Lisbon. Their match today ended, goalless. And of course, at the moment, PSG are leading Brest 3-0, is 6-0 on aggregate. PSV Eindhoven just got, a goal against Juve. It's now 2-2 when it comes to aggregate. Real Madrid, a hat-trick for Kylian Mbappe at the moment. They are leading Man City 3-0 and it's 6-2 on aggregate. Would you believe that? That's the update on sports. Let's return to Yeri.
Many thanks, Buddy, for the update. And of course, talking about late Edwin Clark now, we have a tribute put together by our correspondent, Musbao Danwahab. Let's see this.
We are one. Take Kwara State where you come from. The Fulanis cannot do without the Yorubas. The Yorubas cannot do without the Fulanis or the Hausas. So we are all together. Like me, I have children who are Muslims. Really? Oh yes. I have a son, married. His name is Alhaji Garuba Clark from Mubi. The mother is from Mubi. So when people say that Clark is anti-Islam, they are talking rubbish. So when people talk about, oh, Chief E.K. Clark doesn't like the nuns, I said, what do you know about the nuns? The first meeting of Arawa Constitutive Assembly, Forum, I attended it. When they had their second anniversary, I came to give them a lecture on education. So the way forward in this country, we've come so far, 59 years old now. We should put Nigeria first in whatever we are doing. Religion, ethnicity should not be driven by people who believe in their own religion or ethnicity. That's the way forward. Some of us are we've already had our boarding pass. I'm 92, but I believe Nigeria.
Many thanks, Musbao. Must be a very sad moment for you, knowing that you interviewed him while he was alive. May his soul rest in perfect peace. And also family and friends of late elder statesman and former Minister of Information, Chief Edwin Clark, are still in mourning following his death. At his hometown, friends and family members have been speaking on how he impacted their lives. Thelma Eliogu reports that his kinsmen described his death as a great loss to his family and the nation at large. The traditional ruler.
And I was very tired. But for him, I wouldn't have gone to school. My father never planned to send me to school. When they were going to some of the markets in Moru side, he put me down. He said I should drop. That was when my brother sent me to school.
In everything, we give glory to God. God is the owner of everything. So we cannot cry, but we what he did for us, we know.
The traditional ruler, His Royal Majesty Samuel Akpomyeme Fuludu, who lauded the numerous contributions of late Edwin Clark, appealed that he should be immortalized. Chief Edwin Kaigwedo Clark, born on May 25, 1927, in Kaigwedo, Delta State, was a prominent Nigerian statesman and a steadfast advocate for the Niger Delta region. Now, the family of late Chief Ayo Ekwo Ayo Achibong announces the passing of their matriarch, Chief Grace Enang Enoch Achibong, who died on the 31st of January 2025. She was a one-time permanent secretary, Ministry of Information. There will be a night of tribute and service of songs on the 20th of February 2025 at AIB Event Center, City Park, 138 Adetokunbo Ademola Crescent, Wuse 2, Abuja, at 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Another night of tribute and service of songs will hold on the 27th of February 2025 at Calabar International Conference Center, Calabar, at 6 to 7 p.m. Funeral and Thanksgiving service is scheduled for February 28 at Duketown Presbyterian Church at 11 a.m. And that's News Extra tonight. Many thanks for investing your time with us. Do have a great night. See you next week.